Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Supernatural Watch Along podcast. I am Ryan and I am joined by Ali, whose first time it is watching Supernatural.
Oh,
And Kieran, whose 101st time it is watching Supernatural.
I
And this week we are going to be discussing season 1, episode 9, Home, which initially aired on the 19th of March, 2006, and is rated 8.8 out of 10 on IMDb. The synopsis: following visionaries, yeah, that's a weird sentence. Following visionary Sarah's recent nightmare about the former Winchester home in Lawrence, Kansas, where the present dwellers, Jenny from Wichita and mother of two small kids, are suspiciously accident prone, Dean reluctantly accepts to drive there. Dean and Sam reassure Jenny but follow up on the kids' fear of a flaming creature in the closet. They consult Ms. This is a really bad synopsis. Um, really bad. I'm thinking it where we're at. It's terrible.
they get they
So
got they got a call to go home basically. We'll
yeah,
just stick with that.
my own synopsis. Sam has a vision. They go back to their old home in Kansas to check it out. Um, the episode was I've been completely thrown off. The episode was written by Eric Kripke, Sarah Gamble, and Riel Tucker. And as always, stars Jensen Ackles, Jared Padalecki, um, and more. We also have returning characters such as Samantha Smith as Mary Winchester, Jeffrey Dean Morgan as John Winchester. And we get introduced to Loretta Devine as Missouri Mosley. Yeah. I never mentioned that the episode was directed by Ken Girotti. Unlikely I've said that name correctly, however. Well, yeah, the synopsis on this one terrible. Well, like I say, Sam has a vision. They return to their original home where they find a poltergeist to be present in their old house. Kieran, general thoughts on this episode?
General thoughts. I think it is a good episode. It gives a bit more of the story, a bit more character, background, interactions between the brothers and their relationship with their dad. Uh, Overall, I think it is a good kickoff point for some things that happen laterally in the seasons. So it's a good tee off point for some of the things that we need to know.
Ali, your thoughts on this episode without spoiling anything just yet?
Yeah, overall good episode. Uh, it was kind of a cool thing that they got a calling card to go home. To but the what's the right word for her job? The sidekick. The sidekick was a nice little addition to the episode. I felt uh,
Are you
gave
saying
up
psychic or sidekick?
sidekick.
Okay, I'm just curious. Like, is she Robin to John Winchester's Batman?
Uh, I can't pronounce the name properly.
That's absolutely fair, man. Anyway, this episode opens in the old Winchester house, um, with a new family, as the poorly written synopsis suggested. Um, and a mum, tucks her kid in for the night. After checking there's nothing in the closet for her and pushing a chair against said closet just to make sure
Yeah,
nothing can happen.
that chair does fuck up.
The chair casually slides itself out the way for the closet to open and a fiery spectre to appear. Um, we then have Sam awaken from a nightmare and him and Dean to have a discussion. He tells Dean they need to go back to their old home, and when Dean pretty much says no, Sam has to explain to Dean that he's been having visions. So this is the first time Dean finds out that Sam's been having dreams that come true.
Yeah.
Uh, Kieran, what do you think about the way this came out as what we've known for a couple of episodes?
I think it's really good. I love Dean's reaction. Bit skeptical. I love how he describes it. That Sam's got the Shining, a throwback to possibly the greatest horror film ever made. Uh, so yeah, yeah, I thought good way to bring it up, and I like the fact that Dean is very resistant and you can see it in him. It's acted very well by Jensen Ackles. He doesn't want to go back.
Yeah.
And he plays that really well.
Fuck the
Uh,
past, basically.
Essentially, well, he's pretty traumatized as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, uh, but no, I thought very good.
The Winchester should really get that on a t-shirt. Pretty traumatized. So,
Mild PTSD.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, speaking of t-shirts, Ali, you've
Yes.
invested in a Supernatural t-shirt, which you are not wearing. You were wearing the previous episode, but I never asked you to show it off. What are you wearing today?
I'm wearing a Canadian and Scottish Love Heart t-shirt because I'll be going there pretty soon. So just starting to wear it out before I go.
Okay. You will have to report back to us when you return if Canada is anything like South Park claimed it was. So,
I will keep my fingers crossed. The answer is yes.
I'm only going to 2 parts of Canada, so I'll certainly let you know.
Okay. On changing direction completely, we are going
Yeah.
back to the episode. So Sam and Dean return home, and Dean goes to lie about who they are, as he's used to, but Sam tells the truth that they used to live there. And it just so happens that the mother had just previously found some photos from their childhood and lets them in. And yeah, Dean calls John saying, yeah, we could use you. Something's going on here. But just goes straight to voicemail. We then get a plumber in the house, who's working away, only to have his hand completely mauled by the waste disposal thing, and a creepy monkey with symbols. And watching this with my partner, and she pretty much said, "Who the fuck would have a creepy child's toy like that?" So, um,
If any Americans are watching, could you comment? So I understand it's called a garbage disposal. So I understand you're probably throwing scraps of food in it. Makes perfect sense. But have you ever heard of a bin? You pop it in there. No danger with trapping my hand down it or anything like that. What is its like grander function in the kitchen utensil space? So comments would be appreciated because I'm genuinely curious. And yes, if you say something ridiculous, I will mock you in the comments because par for course.
don't lie, you're not going to check the comments.
I actually,
I'm not going to check the comments, no. But I'd still
I-
like to know which one of yous can check the comments and tell me. So
I just want to know how the heck in this day and age there isn't a device that you can stick down it to check things instead
called a
of
hand.
Yeah, not your hand. I mean, there's horror films in the past have shown us don't stick your fucking hand down the fucking waste disposal unit. It doesn't come back.
I mean,
Clearly.
you are more concerned about this waste disposal. I'm more concerned about this creepy drumming monkey. Like, who's buying those things? Like, what toy manufacturer is like, you know what kids will love? No, monkey,
A creepy
wind up
monkey with
some
symbols.
symbols.
Only
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
That is a toy, though. That is a toy that's.
Oh yeah, it's obviously a real toy. They
Yeah.
didn't make it specifically for the show, but madness. Anyway, turns out the plumber, doesn't die, but his hand's not doing so well. Anyway,
in the mother because of it.
with a little bit of research and asking around about John, they find try to find out what happened when they were kids. They they speak to one of John's old friends at the garage, and he leads them on to a psychic called Missouri, thanks to a clue in John's journal. So we meet Missouri, and Kieran, what do you think of Missouri as a character?
I quite like her. Very reminiscent of the Oracle from the Matrix, in my opinion. In the sense of scolds Dean for thinking about putting his feet on the desk, and Matrix. Don't feel bad for knocking over the vase. He knocks over the
But let's
vase.
see, the Oracle in the Matrix is more nurturing,
Yes,
whereas Missouri
100%.
in this
She's
is
more
more sassy.
aggressive. I
They're
like it.
very different
I
characters.
like it. Yeah.
So,
So
what's your thoughts on Missouri, Ali?
Uh, yeah, different character to have. I'm actually quite surprised it took for this episode for us to get one, because I thought we would have gotten a similar character in earlier episodes, but we didn't. But yeah, nice addition. And for what I'm gathering uh, from the episode is we will potentially see more of her down the road. I'm
Yeah,
assuming so.
Missouri is. I'm not answering that neither is Kid because obviously we've seen it. You've not. We don't want to spoil it for you, but she is a very sassy psychic, as Keaton mentioned. She's kind of telling Dean off for thinking about putting his foot on the table and things like that, which is I actually quite liked their relationship throughout the episode. I thought it was quite funny. She's one bit she looks at Dean and goes, "Don't swear at me." And Dean's not opened his mouth there. But yeah, we then go on to get a child climbing into a fridge.
This was
She
this
the
was
mom
cool.
finds it. Yeah, you like that scene, did you?
Yeah. Never done it myself because I could never fit into a fridge at that age. But yeah, it was cool how it happened because the safety lock was on it, and then of course the spirit that's in the house shuts the door, and and the safety lock's back on it. It's like, yeah, that kid's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that kid's absolutely stuck in that fridge. Yeah.
at the same
Um,
time, do we not see it as Darwinism? The kid crawled in a fridge. I'm in a place that evolution is telling you this is where you're meant to be.
to be fair, if you thought that as Darwinism, all kids would die because all kids are stupid. So
That's where things sometimes are meant to be. Who are
So-
we to judge?
So children are not the fittest. That's why they have adults to look after them. So I think survival of the fittest only counts once you pass a certain age. Until that age, you're fair game. You know.
So,
Um,
survival of the fittest seems like a misnomer. Survival of the least inadequate seems more apt.
that's just so you don't have to go to the gym. So
I have a job. I'm busy.
anyway, they then Sam and Dean and Missouri all visit the house, and Missouri very quickly is able to tell them that there is a poltergeist in the house. They ask the family to leave while they take care of it. They attempt to place charms in the four corners of the downstairs and upstairs walls. Reasonably uneventful. They think it's been successful, uneventful-ish, only to find out it has not at all been successful. When the bed of the mother starts shaking. Just so happened that Sam and Dean stuck about because part of his vision had not yet come true. And a good thing they did. They come in, the fire in the closet starts again. Um, Dean gets Jenny, the mum, out of the house while Sam gets the children. We then find out, as was alluded to earlier, that one of the two spirits in the house was in fact Mary Winchester. So she was the the fiery apparition that had been seen before, and she was in fact there kind of combating the poltergeist. She kind of passes Dean to say something to Sam, which I thought was a bit of a fuck you to Dean personally.
Yeah, I felt
Uh,
that too, actually. I felt it was
so,
kind of like, well, surely she's going to say how much she missed the typical mother kind of thing that you'd say to your sons if you haven't seen them in the amount of time that they had seen her. But not fuck all of that.
yeah,
That
no,
was
she,
it was just like, all right, that it then. All right.
yeah, yeah,
What was the fucking point of her being in the episode
yeah,
then?
she doesn't say
That's
much.
that's the plot hole that you're picking on. The plot hole I was picking on is he was definitely cremated in episode 1. So there's no
Oh
human
yeah.
remains left. So
Yeah.
where's the spirit coming from? What's the anchor?
Well,
Never
we
explained.
have seen before that even when people have been cremated, their spirits hung about with an anchor.
Tends to be with an anchor. The
Maybe the anchor
house
was
as a
the
whole.
house.
As a
Yeah,
whole,
that's
that seems like a rather large anchor. But okay. I'm willing to
maybe
buy
it
that
was
point.
maybe it was something in the basement. We saw some of their shit was
Could have been
still
the
there.
photo album,
So yeah,
which we
Somehow
discovered disturbed it.
that somehow
So
never was engulfed in flames either. They're all
well,
the photos.
they did say the whole house wasn't burned down, even in the you know in the initial fire.
Yeah,
Anyway, Mary defeats the poltergeist by going after it herself, and the two beings are supposedly destroyed
Cancel each
or
other out.
yeah.
back to hell,
Um,
you know.
and we then find out that John was there the whole time. When Missouri goes home and is talking to John. So, what's your thoughts on that, Keaton? On John being there but never actually helping Samardine?
Oh, he's an
Showing
asshole.
himself though. Okay,
He's a
Ali,
complete asshole.
what's your thoughts on John's parenting style?
I'll
He's
go,
very hands off.
yeah, gutless fanny, you know. Can't even go and say hello to his grown ass men now sons and say, "Oh, sorry guys, I'm doing my own hunting now." But it's just I know it's leading towards something down the road, but it was just that last scene. You were just like, that it, because when you see that he's guest starring, for me as the first time viewer is expecting him to be in the whole episode, and it's like, all right, 2 seconds at 2-3 seconds at the end. That's it. Wow, great.
Yeah, it's very much
I bet he got
a
paid a
very bit.
shitload. I bet he got paid a shitload for the 3 seconds, though, just because he was credited in it.
So we've got a flaming picture of Mary, but we're using that as the poltergeist because there was no image of
Mhm.
the poltergeist.
Okay.
So, Kieran, where would you rank the poltergeist in our list?
I probably put the poltergeist at a low C.
A low C? Okay, Ali,
I would
where would
agree.
you?
Yeah, no, I would agree with Kieran because it was just like, again, unfortunately, the effects doesn't hold up, and it was just
I
like,
don't know about that because personally, I think the image of Flaming Mary was super cool.
well, I'm not saying it
Like,
wasn't.
but I mean, the poltergeist you don't actually see, do you? It's just stuff
No, you
moving
don't.
about It's just stuff moving about. I think the effects hold up, so I disagree with you there.
Okay.
But I don't disagree with you for where you're ranking it. I just disagree with your reason for the ranking because
Okay.
I don't think you can. I don't think there's anything you can say about the effects in this episode. Kieran, what's your thoughts on that? The special effects.
I quite like when the poltergeist attacks them. Dean jumps over the table, the knife's going to it. It's a very classic, iconic horror scene. You always see a knife go through a wall and things like that. I quite enjoyed that. I like the lampshade falling off and the choking Sam. I quite enjoyed the effects. I didn't think they were bad. I don't think they've dated particularly bad. I think they
I don't think they could do them much better in a show that they made today.
no, and
Like, I don't think
considering
there
this
would be
is
a big
18 years
difference.
old,
Yeah,
I think it's good.
yeah. Anyway, but I, as it happens, would also put the Poltergeist probably there as well. I think Bloody Mary is yeah, I think Bloody Mary's better. So I think Bloody Mary's higher on our tier list than the Poltergeist. So we're all in agreement, just slightly different reasoning behind
Yep.
it. That being said, I do think it was a very good episode, even though the Poltergeist isn't necessarily the best. So for a change, I'll start with rating the episode. I'm actually going to rate it quite high. In part one, because they return to their old home, and
Mhm.
that's quite clearly a traumatic event, specifically for Dean. Um, two, it's the first episode where Dean finds out Sam's having visions, so it's actually quite
Yeah.
an important episode in that sense. Three, because John is behind the scenes, which kind of sneaks up on you at the end, and you're like, "What a dick!" Yeah. So I think it was a really good episode. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Um,
Yeah.
Ali, where would you rate this episode?
It's lower than yours simply because of the 3 second screen time that John got at the end. I feel if he was more in the episode, I would have ranked it higher. But for my rating, I'm going to give it a solid 7.
Okay, fair. Kieran,
I quite enjoy this episode. Uh, it's probably not the best standalone episode, but it tees off a lot of really important stuff for the rest of the series as a whole. So for its significance in the overall season, I'd probably have to give it a solid 8.
fair. Similar reasoning to mine. I think it's a solid standalone,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Without a
but
doubt.
it sets up so much as well. So it's kind of got an overarching importance over and above that. Anyway, that is all for us this week. So come and join the hunt next week when we will be discussing season 1, episode 10, Asylum, where, as you may guess from the name of it, our favorite hunters find themselves in an asylum. Dun, dun, dun. And with that being said, we will hopefully catch you next week. Bye for now.
Bye.